What's good, everybody? It's your host, Elevated Chillz, back again with another scary story to tell in the dark. Except this time, we're doing something a little different. Today, we have a horror story by the name of Teeth. The Teeth is a short, scary story about a boy who has a disturbing dream in which he keeps encountering people with huge teeth. A version of this story has appeared in a dark room and other scary stories. Joseph was running down a street, but he had no idea why. His heart was racing, and all he could hear was his heartbeat in his ears as he ran down the cobblestone street. Was he dreaming, or was he awake? Was all this really happening, or was he just having a nightmare? He wasn't sure. It was night and the sky was pitch black. The only light was coming from the street lamps which illuminated the deserted and unfamiliar streets. He didn't recognize any of the streets. He didn't know where he was, but he kept running and running. He didn't remember where he had come from, and he had no idea where he was going. He just knew that he had to run. Something was after him. He could sense it. Something horrible. Something unthinkable. He had to get away. If this was a dream, then why wouldn't he wake up? Why couldn't he wake up? If it wasn't a dream, then where was he and how did he get there? He turned a corner and saw that there was a man standing at the end of the street. So Joseph ran up to him and asked him for help. The man turned around and grinned. His grin became wider and wider, revealing a set of razor-sharp teeth. They looked almost like a shark's teeth. And that is when Joseph noticed his eyes. They were completely black, cold, and dead like the eyes of a shark. Joseph ran. He ran up one street and down another. He came to a dead end and quickly turned around and ran in the opposite direction. He kept looking over his shoulder, worried about that man with the teeth was going to follow him. Just then, he bumped into someone. He looked up and saw it was a policeman. With a sigh of relief, Joseph asked the policeman for help. The policeman turned around and grinned. His grin became wider and wider, revealing a set of razor-sharp teeth. They looked almost identical to the shark teeth, and that is when Joseph noticed his eyes. For they were completely black, cold, and dead like the eyes of a shark. Joseph proceeded to run. He ran through an alleyway and jumped over a gate. He ran down a narrow road and came out onto a darkened street. Then he realized that the street looked familiar. He had been here before, and he was sure of it. He lived near here. As he ran, he could see his house just up the road. Joseph awoke with a scream. He realized he was back in his own bed. It had all been a dream. His heart was beating fast, and he was covered in a cold sweat. But he was relieved to be home, safe and sound, in his own bedroom. His parents came running into the room, a look of concern on their faces. "What is wrong?" asked his mother. "I had a nightmare," replied Joseph. "What happened?" asked his father. I kept seeing people with shark teeth and I kept running away, said Joseph. His mother and father both grinned. Their grins became wider and wider, revealing 2 sets of razor-sharp teeth. They looked almost like shark's teeth, and that is when Joseph noticed their eyes. They were completely black, cold, and dead like the eyes of a shark. "Why do you keep running away?" asked his mother. "You know you can't escape," said his father.